Baiklah, kita akan membahas tentang bagaimana peranan BI, LPS, dan OJK dalam penanganan bank gagal. Sebelumnya, perkenalkan, nama saya Nehemia Putri Mutiara Samosir dengan NIM 2110112177. The national banking crisis has taught us all that the value of a bank is ultimately a burden on the state. Recapitalization stroke the issuance of bonds ultimately burned the state budget in a prolonged manner. Therefore, it is fair to say that the value of a bank will ultimately become a burden on society. Realistically, the value of a bank must be made into a measurable and rational risk. This means that from the start it must be realized that the chance of a bank failing must be taken into account no matter how small the chance is. In this way, it is possible to reserve the source of funds so that the handling of failed banks becomes more well organized and accountable. Of course, it is difficult for all parties to accept that in the APBN a certain amount of reserve funds will be allocated to deal with failing banks. Therefore, a special approach and treatment is needed by a special institution as well. We are grateful that in the end we have a Deposit Insurance Corporation atau LPS, which has been operation since September 22, 2005. The existence of the LPS has been understood to only carry out the function of guaranteeing the deposit of people who save at the bank. Many people still don't know that one of LPS strategic tasks apart from deposit insurance is handling failed banks and carrying out the process and settlement of bank liquidation. The failed banks that LPS will handle are failed banks with systematic and non-systematic impact. The definition of systematic is when a bank failure will have an extraordinary impact both in the withdrawal of funds or loss and on the smoothness and sustainability of the economy. While those that are not systematic, of course, if they do not meet the criteria mentioned above. In dealing with system or non-systematic failed banks, LPS will conduct a study and decide whether to save or not. If the cost of saving is much more expensive than liquidating, then the solution is short. It is proposed the bank's business license be revoked, then liquidated, and the LPS pay claims on public deposits. If the LPS decides to rescue, then there is a difference in treatment between systematic and non-systematic failed banks rescue. For non-systematic failed banks, the rescue does not involve on shareholders. This means that all costs incurred for rescue will be profited by LPS. For systematic failed banks, this can be done either without involving all shareholders or by involving all shareholders or open bank assistance. In the event that the whole shareholders will be involved in the rescue, they are required to deposit a minimum of 20% of the total cost of the rescue, just as a bank files systemically. LPS will handle the differences. For handling violent banks with any scam, the LPS based on Law Number 24, 2004 is given very adequate authority. The authority of the GSM and the management of the bank failed to be fully handed over to LPS so that the rescue program could be carried out more effectively. Included in the authority given to LPS is to make temporary investments, conduct mergers and consolidations with other banks, even if they are allowed to carry out rescue efforts. It does not mean that the bailout funds from LPS will disappear. All costs incurred as a result of rescuing a bank will be calculated as temporary investments. LPS investment period is limited and must sell back its shares a maximum of 2 until 3 years after the rescue is carried out. In the event that a bank ultimately has to be liquidated, the process from the sale of liquidated bank assets will be distributed in priority to employee salary and severance pay, operational costs and expenses incurred by LPS. If the process from the sale of assets are still insufficient, then the process from the sale of assets still insufficient, then the remainder will remain the obligation of the old shareholders. From the schemes for dealing with violent banks by LPS as described above, it can be concluded that in the event of a systematic bank failure, there is a more definite and structured settlement mechanism. In addition, there are clear and firm sanctions against shareholders that result in the failure of the bank. This will certainly provide a more adequate protection for both the community and the government. Even so, it must be realized that the existence of the LPS has not been able to relieve the government burden, because if LPS ability both in terms of capital accumulate, premiums and reverse and business surplus is insufficient, then the government will still ask for the shortfall. If you see that there is such a possibility, LPS is indeed not a relief savior. In the end, it must be believed that the most effective handling of violent banks is when the bank is always healthy. Some may argue that whether a bank fails or not depends on the element of supervision. That impression is not wrong but not always right either, because in everyday life what determines whether a bank is healthy returns to the managers and owners. As a future anticipatory step, of course, it is better to look for a more comprehensive approach in order to grow and develop banking that is both strong and healthy. There is an ideal approach and needs to be studied further. Let BI focus on monetary and regulatory management. Then OJK atau Financial Service Authority focus on supervision and LPS in handling failed banks. So there will be a safety triangle for national banking that is more structured and measurable. If there is a bank experience liquidity difficulties, it can apply for a short-term liquidity loan atau PLJP to BI. In granting PLJP, the Financial Service Authority evaluates compliance with solvency requirements and bank soundness level. BI together with OJK conduct as assessment regarding the fulfillment of collateral requirements and estimates of the bank's ability to return PLJP. In the event that a bank experiences solvency problems and is designated as a bank under an intensive supervision atau BDPI, OJK will notify the Deposit Insurance Corporation to make preparation for handling it. In the event that a bank's condition worsens and it is decided as a bank under special supervision, OJK requests LPS to increase the intensity of preparation for dealing with the bank. Forms of coordinations between OJK and LPS include exchanging the latest data and information, joint inspections of banks, and other activities in preparation for resolutions by LPS. In the event that the handling cannot resolve the solvency problems and the bank is determined as a bank that cannot be rehabilitated, then for banks other than systematic banks, OJK hand over banks management to LPS. For systematic banks, OJK requests that KSSK meeting be held, accompanied by recommendations for steps to resolve bank problems. The KSSK meeting decided to hand over the banks to LPS and determine the steps to be taken by other KSSK members to support the implementation of bank handling by LPS. The handling of bank solvency problems by IDIC is carried out by transferring bank assets and or liabilities to the receiving bank, transferring part of the bank's assets and or liabilities to returnary banks, carrying out temporary equity participations as well as liquidation.